Solving for the new equilibrium. Understanding how markets function is crucial in economics, and at the heart of this understanding lies the concept of equilibrium. The equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity represent the point where the forces of supply and demand balance, creating a stable market. However, this equilibrium isn't static. It shifts in response to changes in market conditions. This study will guide you through the process of how to solve for the new equilibrium in demand and supply after such a shift. Understanding the basics, supply and demand equations. Before diving into solving for the new equilibrium, let's recap the fundamental principles of supply and demand. Demand. This represents the consumer's desire and ability to purchase a good or service at various prices. Generally, as the price increases, the quantity demanded decreases, represented by a downward-sloping demand curve. This relationship can be expressed as a demand equation. QT equals A, BP, where QT equals quantity demanded, P equals price. A equals a constant representing factors affecting demand other than price. B equals the coefficient representing the responsiveness of quantity demanded to changes in price. Supply. This represents the producer's willingness and ability to offer a good or service at various prices. Generally, as the price increases, the quantity supplied increases, represented by an upward-sloping supply curve. This relationship can be expressed as a supply equation. QS equals C plus DP, where QS equals quantity supplied, P equals price. C equals a constant representing factors affecting supply other than price. D equals the coefficient representing the responsiveness of quantity supplied to changes in price. Finding the initial equilibrium. The initial equilibrium occurs when the quantity demanded equals the quantity supplied. To find the equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity, we set the demand and supply equations equal to each other and solve for P. Set QT equals QS, A minus BP equals C plus DP. Solve for P, A minus C equals DP plus BP equals greater than P equals. Once you've found the equilibrium price, substitute it back into either the demand or supply equation to find the equilibrium quantity. Factors that shift demand and supply curves. The equilibrium is not static. Several factors can cause the demand or supply curves to shift, leading to a new equilibrium. Factors shifting demand. Changes in consumer income. An increase in income generally increases demand for normal goods. Source: Investopedia, normal good. Changes in consumer tastes and preferences. Shifts in taste can increase or decrease demand. Changes in the price of related goods. The price of substitutes or complements can impact demand. Source: Lumen Learning, substitutes and complements. Changes in consumer expectations. Expectations about future prices or availability can influence current demand. Changes in population. A larger population generally leads to higher demand. Factors shifting supply. Changes in input costs. Higher input costs decrease supply. Changes in technology. Technological advancements generally increase supply. Source: Economics Online, supply curve shifts. Changes in the number of sellers. More sellers increase supply. Changes in government policies. Taxes and subsidies can impact supply. Changes in producer expectations. Expectations about future prices can influence current supply. Solving for the new equilibrium, a step-by-step guide. Now, let's explore how to solve for the new equilibrium in demand and supply when one or both curves shift. Identify the shift. Determine which curve is affected and the direction of the shift. This will often be described in the problem. Adjust the equation. Modify the relevant equation to reflect the shift. This usually involves changing the constant term in the equation. Example, suppose the demand equation is QD equals 100-2P and consumer income increases, leading to an increase in demand by 20 units at every price. The new demand equation would be QD equals 120-2P. Set the new equations equal, set the new demand and supply equations equal to each other. If only one curve shifted, you'll use the new equation for that curve and the original equation for the other curve. Solve for the new equilibrium price. Solve the equation for P single quote. This is the new equilibrium price. Solve for the new equilibrium quantity. Substitute the new equilibrium price into either the new demand or new supply equation to find the new equilibrium quantity. Example, finding the new equilibrium. Let's illustrate with an example. Initial equations. Demand, QD equals 200-5P. Supply, QS equals 50 plus 3P. Scenario, a new technology reduces production costs, increasing supply by 30 units at every price. Solution. Identify the shift. Supply curve shifts to the right. Adjust the equation. New supply equation. QS single quote equals 80 plus 3P. Set new equations equal, 200 minus 5P equals 80 plus 3P. Solve for P single quote, 120 equals 8P equals greater than P single quote equals 15. Solve for Q single quote, using the new supply equation. QS single quote equals 80 plus 3 equals 80 plus 45 equals 125. Therefore, the new equilibrium price is 15, and the new equilibrium quantity is 125. Importance of understanding equilibrium shifts. Understanding how to solve for the new equilibrium in demand and supply is vital for several reasons. Predicting market outcomes. Businesses can use this knowledge to predict how changes in the market will affect prices and quantities. Informed decision-making. Consumers can make more informed purchasing decisions based on their understanding of market forces. Policy analysis. Economists and policymakers use these concepts to analyze the impact of government policies on markets. The concept of equilibrium and its shifts is a cornerstone of economic analysis. By understanding the factors that influence demand and supply and mastering the techniques to solve for the new equilibrium, you gain valuable insights into how markets function and respond to changing conditions. This knowledge empowers you to make better decisions in both your personal and professional life. Remember to practice with various examples to solidify your understanding of this crucial economic principle.